Welcome to Talking Heads on USA Global TV, starring the one and only wonderful Dr. Jacalyn. It's a prestigious place where world-class influencers and experts meet, and where you'll find the most trusted advisors and coaches for all things in life and business. Visit usaglobaltv.com to sign up for our newsletter, get the value you need, and be first in line to learn about events and giveaways and other valuable content. Connect with us. Email Dr. Jacalyn at usaglobaltv.com to talk about how you can become part of USA Global TV. That's USA Global TV, where the doctor is always in.
Hello, everyone. Happy Friday, happy Saturday, wherever you are in the world. We're so happy to have you here with us today. I'm Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. I'm the president, founder, and chief listening officer here at our network, USA Global TV and Radio. Our show today is presenting Pet Psychic AMINAH. This show encompasses so much more than just talking about AMINAH's work as a psychic. We talk about all things related to pets. We talk about sustainability. We talk about coexistence. We just had a great show about saving the monarch butterflies and saving the honeybees and all about milkweed. So thank you for being here. We really appreciate you following us and your loyalty. And without further ado, let me present, who is it? Da-da-da-da! Pet Psychic AMINAH. Here she is.
I got my own song. Look at that. We're going to patent that one. Thank you. Thank you for making me always feel so welcome. As
you are so welcome.
Who join us live and or on the recording. I love it.
I do too. I'm super excited. We've been getting more and more people watching the shows.
Exactly.
I think that the topics are so relevant that we just had a show earlier today on authentic achievements, and a gentleman has a huge following on LinkedIn. It's all about coexistence, sustainability, and planting trees in honor of the Queen.
Can I have his name? Can we get his
Yes.
deeds? Because I'm on LinkedIn. I'm only on 2 platforms huge, and beside, yours is the only video, but Facebook and LinkedIn, those are my people, because all the education that we do on LinkedIn, all the, it's the job platform, but it's so much more now. It's so much richer. All the platforms have really grown, all of them. And I'm no expert at all of them, thank goodness. But you probably are, knowing that they've grown, they're expanding. They're not that niche. They're not that small niche. They're really encompassed what a person's life looks like. Now, they're very good at what they do, and you can get a job through LinkedIn, but you can also meet some amazing professionals.
Yes, that's how you and I met on LinkedIn. So I will definitely connect you. His name is Stephen Fern, Fern, and he's got just under 65,000 followers there on LinkedIn. We were talking about if everyone were out walking and you see an acorn and you took that acorn and you put it into water, and he was giving us a whole scenario of what we could do. But today we have a different topic, and our topic is for people who own pets and they're living in smaller quarters. Maybe they're living in a high rise, maybe they're living in a hut. I don't know what they're living in, but they're living in somewhere small, and they have their family member who is their pet. So what can you share with us about your experience? Is this raising a pet different in a small environment as opposed to a different environment?
Yes. Every environment, if you're going to live in the woods and the redwoods and or whatever woods you want to call that, or you're going to live in the desert, or you're going to live on an island, or you're going to live by the ocean, that changes everything, right? The structure of your house, how often you have to paint, how many weevils you got growing in your walls. Everything changes, everything. It's the same for pets. They are very, very good at acclimating. I don't think us humans are as good at it as some of us try more than others. Some are, I have to have a yard. Some are, I have to have this, I have to have that. I moved in with my daughter a few years ago, and we're living in a condo with literally 4 flights of stairs. 4. one to get to the front door, one to get I grew up in a 2-story house, so my body went, oh yeah, well, I've done this. And yes, it was a long time ago, but our body does remember things we've done in the past and acclimates. So if you're going to live like me, and I have no yard at all, I have 100 million plants, or at least it feels like it, because every time you walk to my front door up those stairs, you're going to see a plant on pretty much all the stairs. So I have brought living plants into my life still by acclimating them to the stair pot life. But I also had to take care of the cats that we have. We now have 3. Never thought I'd have 3. And that was adopting one that somebody was giving up, and it was a family member. So we of course took her in. Either way, how do you keep your cats from tearing the curtains apart or scratching on the couches, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, pooping on the floor? I still, lately, we haven't found the culprit yet. I have 3 cats, and 2 are older. One is a little bit younger, and we can't figure out who's doing it. But I am really, really diligent about cleaning cat boxes. So I have 2 because of the cats that use them. The other one is in my daughter's room, and I clean them at least once a day. For me, we don't wear shoes in the house, so why would I want my cat to be standing on poop and pee? And then, yes, they cover it up, but at some point they could land on it. Yes, cats are very clean. That's me. So remember, take your personality into keeping, take into what you don't want to have as a conflict. If you have a human child in your life and you don't want to have to constantly yell at them about no more candy, no more candy, no more candy, no more candy. Goodness sakes, especially if they have any kind of diabetes in the family or anything like that. So I don't know, Dr. Jacalyn, what would you do if you had a family member that lived with you that had a health issue with too much sugar? What would you do?
I know of this situation, actually.
Oh, I
know of the situation, but I can't speak of it. But I think it's challenging because you don't want to continue to be dependent. Feed the
so
sugar.
What do you do in your home? You know you have somebody coming to visit or living with you or staying with you, whatever the case is, time-wise, and they have an addiction, alcohol, sugar, cigarettes, pick something, combing their hair. That seems pretty benign. But what you do is you don't have it in the house.
Exactly.
Then there's no conflict, because the only conflict you're going to have is who's going to run to the liquor store. Oh, well, I got to cook, I got to clean, I got to get ready, I got to do what. You could come up with a million excuses in your own home of things that will keep you so busy that that's not going to happen. My mom had exchange teachers and students come, and one of them was an alcoholic. We didn't have alcohol in the house. I mean, we didn't own any. And my mom was going to go out and buy some. And I asked her, I said, why? Why? When you know this woman is an alcoholic, this is not a social drink, and you don't drink. It would be the same as if somebody came into my home and smoked, and we don't smoke. So I would find it very offensive and stinky and whatever. I don't want to smell like that. So it's respecting that space. So think about your cats in the same way. If you have an obese animal that hopefully you've gone to the shelter and you've rescued somebody who really, really needed you, and it's a dietary issue or a weight issue or an allergy issue, pets these days have just as many as people do. Then you're going to go hopefully to the extra mile and keep those things out of the house. We don't leave food on tables. We just don't bother with tempting the cats to see how well we discipline them. So we'd rather have a happy home. So for me right now, trying to figure out who is having the problem with the pooping, because I've already cleaning the box. And a lot of times when that happens, it's a cleaning the box. So even I go through, okay, And why I'm thinking of this, because it happened this morning again, and it hadn't happened in like a month. And I was like, okay, what's going on? Clean the box last night, clean the box this morning. It can't be that. So there's room to investigate. When you're living in a small space, no yard, it's really important, if you're going to have any kind of dog, within reason. If the really, really small ones, a walk can be down the block and back, or a couple of stairs and up and down if you're in my house. But with any other dog, you need to take them for a walk. You need to have them exposed to the cognitive activity that outside gives, the smells. If you've ever taken a dog for a walk, they're going to stop at every pole, every bush, everywhere every other dog went to the bathroom. And I don't recommend that you drag them through the process, because this is enrichment for their mind, for their energy, for checking in on what everybody else is doing. And if we could tap into that information, they know who has cancer, they know who is too old, they know who it's male or female. It's amazing to see the breadth of their knowledge just by a scent, just by a scent. But this way, you bring them back into a small home. They're tired, or they're more rested, and they're ready to sit at your feet while you're working from home. And how glorious is that, to have a little bed right next to you? And animals will go with your schedule. It doesn't happen right away. When we all first came home, I challenge everybody, and if this is you, please put it in the chat and or message us, because when we all got home, there's so many dogs that were nice and fluffy and heavy and chubby and all of those wonderful things, and were put out in the backyard if they had one. I have one client who has a very, very small backyard to their apartment, ground floor, really lucky to have that. And so when she's working full time, that's where the dog can go in and out, go to the bathroom when he needs to. Now they're able to go for these long walks all the time because everybody's home or working from home. And I can't tell you how many owners have reached out to me going, my dog won't go for a walk. I'm like, you're walking every day, aren't you? And you weren't walking before. Oh yeah, well, we did it once a month or once a week. I tried to get him out, but I was always working. Now I'm working from home. It's a big change. And then when we go back, which a lot of people are in that transition now, and all of a sudden the walks go away, and the atmosphere changes. You're busy, you're running around. These are the things you have to plan for a small house, for no yard, all these types of things. There are so many tools out there, and there's so many things online that you can build your own dog, cat, toy interest. You don't have to just buy them. And yes, it's so important to have places to scratch, not your couch. That's not the appropriate place. And cats really, really, really need it. Really, really need it. It is a place to stretch their nails. It's a part of what they do. Having appropriate places to go to the bathroom. If you know you're going to be late, or it's possible that your dog isn't quite got his schedule down with yours to go and wait until you go home to go to the bathroom, then leave a puppy pad out, as we call them. Leave them out in the kitchen. Preempt the problem. What I don't understand, and I'd love for somebody to explain it to me probably again, is why are we waiting till there's a problem to do something about it? Right. Why are you waiting for the urine on the ground to go, oh, probably should have cleaned the box, put the puppy pad down, blah, 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 put diapers on. They do make those things. A lot of times you see dogs that have diapers is because they have a female and she's in heat and they don't want her bred accidentally, and yet they want her to walk around. That can be dicey if you don't want puppies that are all different shapes, sizes, colors, and you didn't know that was coming. Being pregnant is hard on the body. It's a big job. So these things you have to prepare for. Why wouldn't you prepare for a small home? So in a small home, if you are on multiple floors, then you need multiple cat trees, not only for them to look out the window, keep their life interesting and active, but their nails sharpened on something that is not the couch and is not your bed or the carpet. If you have the carpet, Berber carpets are really great for this. They tend to handle nail stretching activity a whole lot better than shag. Now that's just my experience, and everybody's going to have different carpeting, but is that what you want to do? What I'm encouraging everybody, always, with coexisting comes co-understanding. And Dr. Jacalyn, you and I, you can go back to our first few episodes together and talking about our spider with you and just understanding why the spider had a right to be there or live and or move them to the side. Because I don't know you, I'd rather they have the spider than the mosquitoes. I don't like being bitten. I get eaten alive by the mosquitoes. I don't eat enough garlic or something. So with your pets, the idea is be proactive, not reactive. You'll have a much better relationship. And I really stress, do that across your life. Be proactive. If you have a coworker or a boss or whoever in your life that you have to deal with or you have to be around, then think about, how do I change this? How do I go from this being a toxic situation? Your pets are no different. They deserve the same respect. They deserve the same time and courtesy. And they don't know about cat trees until you buy it. And then you go over and you introduce them to it, and you always redirect. So they start to stretch their nails on the carpet and you don't want that, or the couch. Then you redirect to the tree and you put their little paws up on the trees and say, no, let's do this here. Let's say you've tried all of that and they're still going for the couch because something to do with the couch's angle, the way the arms are down the side, they just love it. They just love the contact. And it's just so easy to turn around and just do that. Dr. Jacalyn, do you have any idea what my MacGyver, hopefully everybody knows this reference, trick will be for to save the couch or a chair that has sides?
No, I know the term MacGyver it, and I know it was a TV show, but I don't know other than that.
Yeah, it for anybody who doesn't know the very old show MacGyver, it was that I never saw it in its entirety. He came up with great ideas, like outside the box, like using gum to hold a bolt together or something that didn't work. So my trick when I'm training a new cat, and I have had to do this at least with 3 of the 5 cats we've had, is box tape. I take box tape. I usually take the clear stuff, not the brown one, but I take box tape, and they make really good widths. So I do the 2 to 3 inch box tape. I usually have some around the house, and I tape up the front and sides of the couch, anything that the cat has access to, so that I know when I'm not there, my couch isn't now being used, because animals are smart enough to go, I really, really, really like it. I really like the angle. I really want to do that. And with new pets, it's really hard sometimes to convince them that, no, this is a line in the sand you can't cross. And it's cheaper. And the tape does not ruin your couch. I don't know about leather. Never tried it on leather, but I have always had fabric couches. And you can put the tape up there. It's not sitting in the sun, so it's not creating gummy, at least not mine, hasn't created gummy sides or to the fabric. And I just tape it up, and I end up doing that probably for a good 3 months and retaping if I need to get the point that the couch is off limits. When I'm in the room or I hear them going after the couch, I of course say, nope, no. So there's reinforcement, not corporal punishment. Let me be really clear. I am not hitting them. I will remove them. I will pick them up and redirect. That's the same thing you want to do with children and probably coworkers and getting them to try something new, to go a different way or try something different that they don't, whoever they is, don't feel like, oh, that's not going to be worthwhile. I promise this will be worthwhile for your patients. Everybody's different in their learning curve or their desire to switch. So be as positive as you can, be as patient as you can, and we all fall, and have the time to say, no, this is a line in the sand. So I've used box tape on the furniture. We don't have any leather in the house. We have all fabric. I've done that on the back of the lazy boy chair. And that is just where they love the foot. I was surprised. It's not the foot, probably because of the cushions and the fluffiness of there, but the back of the chair, always, every time we get a new cat, they go for that. So I put tape up, and about a year ago, I had to reintroduce that to 2 of the cats that we'd had a while. And all of a sudden they were trying it again. And we're like, no, that's still not. And they hated it, hated the crickle, hated the fact that their nails got stuck. They didn't understand tape, thank goodness. So the lesson went a lot faster, and I mean weeks faster, instead of months and months of me saying, no, don't do it. But it didn't hurt my chair. It didn't hurt the fabric. I was able to pull it off. I could put more on, but I was able to pull off. The cats don't eat it. So I'm going to move on to a different thing. I also said I live on stairs, but we don't want the cats running up and down the stairs like everywhere. So we don't wear shoes in our house. We never have. And it is a cultural thing with some of my family members, and it is also a cleanliness thing for me. So we drop our shoes when we come in the house and then come up the first flight of stairs. But there's also a way to go downstairs to the laundry room. So there's shoes all over the place. I don't know I don't really want to take my shoes off from outside and have my pets rubbing their face in them and all that type of thing that they'll do, or pick them up and decide to carry them around. We don't have dogs, but that might happen. And what do you do? Well, we have put a gate, and it's the same thing you can get for a baby. And we didn't get a baby gate, but we could have. My daughter found these beautiful gates. I don't remember where, but they're white and they look like, they just have metal hinges. And the one we have goes over the entire top of the stairs. And when we come up the stairs from a front door, it just moves, one side of the panel moves like a door, and we walk in. We can put the groceries down. We have a table on the side. So we've made it very, very user-friendly when your hands are full or when you only have one hand. But we've made it very uncomfortable for the cats, because they would have to jump over the fence and land on a stairway going down. They're not crazy about that. They have tried to move it a number of times. So we've had to come up with a few creative things. Now, we got a little kitten about 8 months ago now. She's not a little kitten anymore, but she still tests the water as all young animals do. And she figured out a way to get on a table far enough, but she could jump over. And so we would find her down in the laundry room and all kinds of places. So we had to put some more crackly, noisy, unstable things. Cats specifically typically will not get on a surface and or any kind of grounding that isn't stable. Believe it or not, a tree is. But if they're going to jump on a pile of leaves, not necessarily so much. They'll want to know what's underneath it. Cats are great at figuring out their balance. That's why they don't like the tape on the back of the chair. But it's also why they don't want to deal with a gate. They've seen them fall. because we don't have them bolted to the walls. They have the hinge on two of the pieces. And so we are able to kind of like put it in an accordion, and then we straighten it out. When my littlest one and our littlest cat, Emma, decided, I'm just going to leap right over. We were kind of freaked out because she's got to leap down to the stairs. So we needed to really prevent that. And believe it or not, Dr. Jacalyn, good old-fashioned vacuum cleaner came out, because the cats are not real thrilled about the vacuum, because all of a sudden they don't understand. It starts growling at them and making terrible noises. So we backed it up, and it's a really heavy vacuum, and it has a lock. It has a lock on it where it won't roll anymore. So we backed that thing up to the gate, and the cats look at it going, I'm not so sure about that. But again, sometimes you need to step it up. Sometimes you've got to change the way you're doing things to keep ahead of the really smart ones and the really, really creative thinkers. And if you have a pet like that, that's what I know I love working with, because they get me to think outside the box, to try something new, to look for a better, more creative, but positive reaction and job of getting something done. I don't want to go to swatting or hitting or any of that type of stuff. First of all, it's terrible for my hands, but it's also terrible for the energy and the goodness I want and the love I want to spread out to my household and my family. Animals are not planning and plotting our downfall. Some people think that, and it's not a part of what they do. They're not revengeful and out to get you. So the nice thing is to be there for them and to keep their place safe. I have houseplants. My cats have been trained to leave them alone. But I also, off camera, you don't see this, have a tree over off to the side of me. And I've had that tree since it was this big, and it was 79 cents. Now it's 3 or 4 or 5 feet tall, but I still don't want the cats to chew on it because the leaves tend to be poisonous. I don't want to find out. So the cats have been told to leave it alone. They have a really tough time leaving it alone because of the structure of the leaves. So I keep it up on a stand where they literally cannot reach it without jumping on the stand, which there's no stable place. I made sure there's no stable place for them to get close to it. There's just a million ways we could go with suggestions, and I'd love to hear yours and or any questions that everybody has.
Thanks, Amina. I appreciate it. I was going to share that when I had my 3 little sweeties, that we actually used the pee pads, and they worked really well.
Yep.
And then at one point we had to use diapers, not on all 3 all at the same time. And, you know, it's a shame because just like I imagine a person wearing a diaper doesn't feel like this is my proudest moment.
Yeah.
Same thing with your pet. You know, it's also like when they have the big cones, they have to have
the cone of shame.
Yeah.
Remember?
It's not fun. But I bring it up because the pee pads really do work. I don't know if there's some kind of scent on them or something, but you know, my pets realize, my dogs, okay, this is where we're supposed to go when mom's not here.
But that's an honor to you because they don't really know what they are. It's just another thing on the floor. As far as like, it could be, I don't know what you in your kitchen, but we have the mat in front of the sink so that you have, you know, a softer place to stand to hand wash your dishes, those kind of things. So for them, but typically they just go, okay, it's another thing on the floor. So it's something that I want you to take some credit here because it's something you said, did in your body language with the way you treated it and said, this is it. And I challenge people, if they're having a hard time having their animals figure out that that's the poop pad, pee pad, because we all need them at some point, then steal some poop from somewhere. from them, not from anybody, because it has to be their scent.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can get any of that on the pee pad, a little something, they'll go, oh, me, oh, pat, me, pat. They'll put together what you said and your actions into the reality of what you want. And a lot of people forget that. Don't do that, don't do that, don't do that. All they hear is blah, 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 blah. You're yelling at them, but they don't know why. So when you're teaching language, and I don't care if you're learning German, French, Italian, or dog or cat, give a connection. Give a connection between, that's why they say discipline immediately. If you're going to go with don't do that, then go with don't do that right then. You don't get to come home 3 hours later and say, why did you pee all over my floor? What happens is you come home every day and you say, oh my God, you did it again. They're going to think wherever she goes, it's really terrible because she comes home and yells at me. They don't put the two together. There's no cause and effect. There's a cause and you've lost your mind. So I can't stress that enough, everybody. Connect the dots for them. Connect the dots for them. And you're going to have to be creative, because I don't know about you, I'm not always there when my cat throws up and actually when they throw up, I always feel so bad for them because that's a really violent act. Going to the bathroom, we all pretty much knows, oh, I might need to go for this. People have taught their dogs to go to the front door and tap on the front door and maybe scratch, or they've got a place and says, no, I need to go out. A lot of people who have yards, their dogs are trained in the way that the communication between the person and them is like, no, go out. You're going to go out to go to the bathroom. Well, the dog then knows, okay, this is what we do. Pee pads are the same. They're not going to automatically see them and go, oh yeah, that's where I'm going to go to the bathroom. Why? So remember, you got to connect the language. English, dog bark. English, cat. Whatever that is. Whatever animal you're dealing with.
Thanks, AMINAH. And I know we always talk about sustainability. What should one do with the pee pad, poo pads, and the little gifts that might be on there?
The sad part is you cannot recycle. At this point, I don't know any that now. I think I just saw it come out, and I'd love for somebody to share this with me in the link, and we'll put it out on social media, is that they're trying to come up with biodegradable pee pads. More than what they've been doing is they have a type of plastic base with like a bandage top, like it absorbs when you put on a bandage type top. They're trying to come up with more and more in that. With the poop bags, when you take your dog out to go to the bathroom or you go in public, and I know you're all picking up your dog's poop, is all those bags are now biodegradable. So even though the poop is not, even though the feces are not, and why are they not? Because we're feeding them processed food. If your dog or cat is eating birds, deer, or whatever, mice, and that's all they're eating, and grass or grain or anything natural, there you go. Then you can pretty much, it's the same as saying we don't use or want the cats or dogs to poop in my garden where I'm making vegetables or flowers, because it's toxic waste. It really is, because they're eating all processed food. But do I want the bunnies and the birds and the squirrels and the coyotes to poop in my garden? Sure, why not? Because they're only eating natural food. They're, now if the coyotes are coming in and they're eating garbage, that'll be a different scenario. But why do we want horse manure or actually cattle? Great stuff. The way they digest and the grasses and the enzymes, what are we making fertilizer out of? These are simple things that I've spent a lifetime, of course, thinking about and working with and understanding. And that my job, I feel, is to try to make your life with your pet as easy and simple as possible by reminding you how easy and simple it is. I think we get too caught up in, oh, we got to hire a trainer. Oh, we got to do this. We got to do this. And I'm all for a trainer. Get all the support you can. So I am not saying don't get a vet, don't get a trainer, get all the specialists you want, but participate. Join the trainer and train your animal. A good trainer will walk alongside you. And some animals are in so much dire need. Sometimes you can send them with a trainer, get the process started, and then jump in with them. But if you expect your dog, for example, to come home, walk on a leash beautifully around the neighborhood, poop in the poop pile or whatever, or not scratch the furniture because your trainer trained them, it's short-sighted, because you are or should be the alpha of your pack. If you are not, then your dog will rule your household because they are a pack animal. Cats will just rule you outright. And so you need to take that control and say, no. With confidence, they will trust you. With a surety of love and balance, they will acquiesce to many requests you make. Do they fall off the boat? Sure. Everybody does. Once in a while. I'm not sure what the combination is. We'll find a cat on the counter. And yeah, all hair carry breaks through, because we've been at it for years with most of these animals that we have. About, no, that's gross. You're in a sandbox, you're wiping your feet in the sand. No, I don't want you on the counters. That's just gross. So it does happen. But what can you do about it? Start again. Take a deep breath. Walk around the block. Come in balanced and clear, and figure out, was there a reason? Animals don't do anything just because they want to be revengeful. That's not a thing. Is it you left chicken out, or you left chicken juice on the counter and you didn't wash it? So we're in a partnership with our animals. I really want to stress that. We're in a partnership with our animals. So let's work as a partner and figure out, okay, what is my responsibility and what is my ability to change the scenario, and what do they actually understand? It's the same thing with dealing with a professional. If you're going to talk to somebody about carpentry and they're a plumber, might be a short conversation.
AMINAH, you always know how to just clear the air so that we know exactly what it is you're talking about.
I hope so. I'm trying to make it as simple, because you won't do it if I give you highfalutin collegiate titles and you all have to look it up, all the dictionary. And that's great. Some people need that. And you're going to find trainers and animal people and coaches. You know this as being a coach. You're not a coach for everybody. You're a coach for the right person that can hear the advice you're giving.
Absolutely.
So I'm not the coach for everybody, but I at least can open your mind to go look for one. And I would be thrilled with that.
Yeah. Giving people education and inspiration and hope, things to think about, things to research. So that's what you do, and you do so well. And you are going to be joining us for a very special event that we have on Sunday. It's our reunion show. It's the third one we've done this year. It's the last one we'll be doing this year. The next one will be in January. And I ask for everybody who's out there watching on the live or the replay, if it's before Sunday, do join us. We'll be starting at 7 a.m. Eastern or Pacific Standard Time, 7 a.m., which is 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and 3 p.m., which is British Summer Time, and 4 p.m. Central European Time. So we will be live streaming for 5 hours, and there'll be people presenting their work, their brand, their product, their service, their film, their book, whatever it is that people are presenting, for 15 minutes. So AMINAH will be there for a good part of the afternoon, which is exciting.
Much as I can support, as well as join.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to that. And we talk all the time about people being able to reach out to you for training and also for readings, but people can also reach out to you about coexistence, about sustainability, about saving the honeybees, about saving the monarch butterflies. And by the way, just a quick aside, today I forgot to mention this to you. It appeared on my phone and it was about rabbits and that rabbits can swim, and I wasn't aware of that. And it showed the rabbit like coming to the edge of the ocean and then putting its ears back and jumping in. I thought, wow, isn't that cool? They're little swimmers.
And it's not all of them. It's not all of them. It's like the same thing as saying a Chihuahua floats, and like, no, have you seen them? Especially like the pug, the flat face dogs. They're at the bottom of the pool. So don't do that. So it's not all. But yes, there are a type of rabbits that do swim. I remember finding that out about 10 or 15 years ago and going, well, that's really cool.
So we have next to us, there's a lot, and there's a bunny. The bunny lives there. Where do bunnies live? They dig underground?
They're typically burrows. They will tunnel. They're very good at that. Their back feet are weapons. I've raised show rabbits and rabbits for years in 4-H. And yeah, their back feet are powerful. If they're gonna prevent anything, they're not biters per se. I mean, they do have great teeth, but that's really vegetables. They are gonna funk you with their back feet. And when they're angry, they hit the ground and they go, and you're like, well, somebody's unhappy.
So what do? They dig and they go into this hole. And what do? They just hang out there?
Well, they pull fur. Yeah, they hang out. I mean, what do you do at home? You hang out.
But I have a nice soft bed. I'm not like in.
And they pull their fur, especially from their back. It's very soft and fluffy, and they tend to have plenty of it. And then they will create the nest, not only for themselves, but if they're a female, for their babies. And that's what's really cool when you find the nest. They're just little bitty pinkies is what we call them, like rats. And they're all wrapped in, because they aren't born with fur. They're not born with that fur already on them. So they're basically naked. And that's what they will do in that burrow. And the biggest thing they have to really worry about is snakes. Ants are only going to come in and be a problem with dead if a baby has died and mom and dad haven't removed them from the nest with live. So that can be a problem. And the big ones, not so much. They'll keep the hole pretty tight. You'll see that with ground squirrels. You'll see that with a lot of animals that are on the ground. They're going to be as incognito as possible. But bunnies have really fortunate. They have the fluff. It's the same as birds will line their nests with the down at the underneath their feathers. So it's the same concept.
Another piece of fabulous information. Thank you very much.
Keep telling you, I just keep reading.
One last question just about the bunny. So will they head south, or will they just hang out in the cold weather if that's when the winter comes?
They'll stay in the den during the really cold, wet part of the day or night, whatever that is. And they will scatter to find their own mates and find their own homes, usually within miles of their parents. But what animals understand better than humans is they will make sure that, and this is instinctual, this isn't, at least nobody's told me that, bunnies haven't told me that they have a plot of planning, but they will make sure they only breed with somebody that is outside of their family, because they understand that the DNA is too close and you get birth defects. So when you're, let's say your mom and then you're their child, but then the dad breeds with that. Yeah, that doesn't happen very often because of the DNA. They can tell who belongs to who, and whatever it is mostly by scent. So they're not going to breed naturally. It happens. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but it's very rare. It's very rare because you're going to see 3 legs, 1 ear. This is where birth defects in the wild typically come from. Now, remember, I always caveat, nothing is everything, always. You'll never hear me use these words because if you've been on the planet any time amount of time, I don't think we haven't always now ever. We can't all say all German Shepherds are mean, aggressive, or guard dogs. We can't say it, that all pugs bark too much. Well, no, you can't. It's just like saying all human beings from this country are like this and from this culture are like this. Well, that's incredibly short-sighted and not true.
Exactly.
And we come up with our own stereotypes for animals and humans. And it's really too bad, because I think people are missing the big picture of a great learning curve and experience. I feel so blessed to have traveled not only the United States 5 times in my childhood, because I was a teacher's child. That's what they love to do, is travel. But my mom brought exchange families into our home every year with the teachers. And then I traveled throughout the Middle East. How many people can say, that's a white Caucasian that had extensive travel time in Saudi Arabia, Iran, Jordan, and all of these types of places besides Europe? And it was enlightening to know how to behave in another country. Was it wrong? No, it was the way they do it. And why wouldn't you respect that? Animals are no different. If you respect the fact that a wolf has a right to eat that lamb, then you should remove the lamb out of the wolf's path. Because he's not looking at it, oh, that belongs to Farmer Bob, and we're just going to eat all his. No, we're going for the easiest kill. You know how hard life in the wild is? Well, no. Just imagine somebody dumped you out in the forest and said, go ahead, find water, find food. Would you go to the nearest farm if that was the first food and you were starving? Yes. So we're going to kill all the wolves? No. We're not coexisting at that point. We are deciding that we're better. And we all are living through now global warming. And how's that working for everybody that we know better? You want anything, you need a honeybee. But yet the pesticide industry specifically, just to name one big part of the insect issue, is the reason why honeybees are not successful in anywhere, because we've been using chemicals like Roundup. I'm as guilty as anybody else. I didn't know about that 20 years ago, and we wanted to get rid of the weeds. Now I just weed. I just pull the weeds out as soon as I see them and put in good nutrition, because we have compromised the world by what I consider my laziness and humanity's laziness of saying we wanted a shortcut. And we're really, really good at creating shortcuts. How many roads have been made through what should have been national monuments or delicate ecostructures? And we've decided we're going to build houses or condos or, I don't know, a freeway. I'm not saying they're not necessary. I'm just saying there's consequences to your choices. Decide if that is worth it and go forward, or educate yourself as much as you can. And that's what this platform does. With so many absolutely great speakers that you have, Dr. JACALYN, and I know I've mentioned this many times, it's never too much. If you haven't seen all the people on this channel, do, because we all talk about totally different things and we'll not point a finger at you. We just hope to educate you and then let you have the free will to make a better choice, because you now know the difference between, this thing and that thing. That's all we can do.
Once again, thank you for summing everything up. That is great ways to close out the show and close out the week.
Absolutely.
And again, I will be seeing you on Sunday. AMINAH, we have your banner, but for people joining us for the first time and they can't read the banner, what's the best way to reach you?
bridgingworlds.us. Everything about me is there. It's my website. It links all the social media, and LinkedIn and Facebook are primarily where I'm at as far as social media. And this USA Global TV is where you're going to get the conversation and tons of free advice and tips on how to work with your animal. And if you want me to cover something specific, just drop me a message Bridging Worlds 2018 at Gmail is my email address. And I'd be glad to cover that with anybody's questions, because the whole point is that we learn together. If something I haven't covered before, I'd love to look it up, love to read up on it.
Well, thank you for that, Amina. As we get ready to close out, I'm just going to take people on a quick tour of the website so they can see all the shows that we offer.
Wonderful.
You're welcome to hang around or not.
I want to be updated. You always have new ones.
So let me share my screen. And I'm just going to walk people through. I'm over here on the website. So here we are. This is usaglobaltv.com. People have said to me, oh, well, you're USA Global TV and radio. Are you going to change the website? No, I'm not. I have usaglobaltv.com. My business is USA Global TV LLC. So those things are just, that's just the way it is, because that's what I started with. And I'm not going to give up this website. So we're going to go to shows so you can see our showcase of shows, what we offer, and I'll give a little bit of information. We have, starting on Mondays, Timeless Beauty, Secrets to Timeless Beauty, actually, and this is with Katrina Valente. She's an international celebrity facialist, and she's in Dubai, although she frequently travels to the Maldives and to Crete and to other places to work on celebrities who are vacationing. So that's and I'm not going to go through all the times and days. You can see they're listed here. We have fashion, travel, and fitness. This is with Diane Floyd-Bain, and obviously we discussed those particular topics. Diane is in the great state of Texas in the United States. We have the power of etiquette and manners with Mr. Philip Sykes. He is the principal of the British School of Excellence. We just had an unbelievable show today called How Afternoon Tea Could Save the World. And we met with expert Jane Mallion and also with, I think, 8 or 9 students from around the world. They are taking the Train the Trainer course with Philip Sykes. We also have the Art of Creating Mental Health Wealth with Janetta Barry and the Epiphany Process. Janetta is the one who is leading World Jenny's Day, which is a charity that we are hosting the event for 17 hours on World Mental Health Day, which is October the 10th. We have the United Kitchens with celebrity chef and nutritionist Ricky McKenna. We also have the Corner Bookstore. This is with Diane Floyd-Bain. Again, a second show for her, and we interview authors and writers. We have presenting Pet Psychic AMINAH, and I think you know who that is. And we also have the Mallorca Connection with Mr. Roland Friedel, who is a business coach and strategist, and he has been living in his motorhome, traveling through Europe, living a wireless life. We have Entrepreneur and So Much More with Justin Merigliani, and Justin and I interview entrepreneurs, or else we just do the show ourselves, talking about issues that entrepreneurs face. We have The Business Talk Show with Mr. Al Cini, and Al will be hosting the reunion show with me on Sunday. We have the United Kingdom News and Culture, and this is with our 3 expert correspondents who have been all over doing interviews after the Queen's passing. It's Helena Shard and Ian Pelham Turner. They are royal photographers and royal broadcasters for the British royal family. And next to them in this visual is Mr. Simon McDonald, who is chairman of the fisheries in Scotland. He's also a celebrity chef. He's cooked for 5 U.S. presidents. He cooked for the Queen, and he is also a television presenter. And we also have Diane Floyd-Bain. This is her 3rd show that she hosts. She is an internationally award-winning children's and young adult book author. We have Loving Longevity with Annie Bush. This show has not been renewed, so this was a great show with a lot of different topics when it comes to reversing the signs of aging. But Annie has other things that she's working on, and we wish her well. We're still running the previous shows. We have the Listening Mentor, which is me. I am the Listening Mentor. I teach people how to listen at an elevated level and how to certify them at the power of listening. AMINAH is a certified elevated listener. And Caroline Hewer joins me from London. She's the Harley Street stress expert. She is a certified therapist and helps people bust their stress. We have the Wise Ones with Mr. Red O'Laughlin. Red is a book coach. He is a publisher. He is a 2-time Amazon #1 best-selling author. And I think he has 5 doctorates. He's an amazing person. I work with him for both the books that I published that also became #1 bestsellers. And I'm working with him now on 3 other books. We have the film and music show with Madeline Chan. Madeline is over in the UK. I should mention Red. Sorry, Red. Red is located in Texas. Madeline's in the UK, and she's an international singer, songwriter, and she's also a vocal coach. And she has a company with others that's called Songs for You, where they create custom songs. Like they've created one for me called What Was I Thinking Back Then, where I've written the words with Madeline and we're performing it together. We also have Adversity to Awesome, which is named after my second book, Adversity to Awesome, where we interview people who have incredible stories of adversity and they share so that they can motivate other people to step forward into their light. This is the reunion show that I already talked about. We have Global Adventures with Janetta Barry, whom I mentioned before. She's in East Africa, and her son Neil joins us. I think he's in South Africa. He's a safari guru, and we've been seeing unbelievable pictures from the safaris, and I highly recommend that. That's one of our new shows. We have Rapping with Dr. Jacalyn. That's me, and this is a show about nothing. This Rapping with Dr. Jacalyn is the first show I started out with on the radio just about 2 years ago. And it was the name of my platform before we became USA Global TV and Radio. So this show is mirrored after a very famous show that was on the air for years. And the characters would get together and just talk about their day. They talked about nothing. So it's a great way to get to know somebody that books in for that show. Aging Gracefully with Humor. This is a show with Kathy Fulton. Kathy is located in the Washington, D.C. area, specifically in Virginia. And we talk to people who give us hope and inspiration and help us laugh about aging. So whether it's using Botox, or if you have someone in your life who has dementia, maybe you have dementia, other ways to look at things that give us hope. Another show with Kathy Fulton is What's Trending, and this can be basically anything, what's trending in across various industries. We also have Global Homes and Gardens. This is a show that I do, and we showcase gardens and homes from people all over the world. We have Leadership of the Heart. This is with Mariska Duprier. She is a transformation and leadership coach, and this show is actually on hiatus until next year. We have A Woman's Prerogative, which is a show for women, by women, about women. And we have women from all over the world. We love and encourage women to book in as guests with our panelists. And we talk about women's topics. This week, we talked about to groom or not to groom. And do we look at ourselves in the mirror? And if so, how much is too much? We have The Amazing Adventures of Lady Ella. This is the new book that Mariska Duprier and I are co-writing. And it's a series of 7 books to teach kiddos and their parents, their family members, how to listen at an elevated level. And each of the animal characters featured here on the book cover represent a human being who is certified in the power of listening. So together, we tell a story to help children and their family members. This is the first book of 7. Okay, we also have our men's show, which is called Wild at Heart Bonfire Talks, a show for men, by men, about men. And it really gives men the opportunity to share things that they don't have anyone to talk to about. We found that women seem to be able to talk about what's going on in their lives, and men keep a lot of it repressed. They keep it in. So Roland Friedel, the same gentleman who is living and operating out of his motorhome in Europe, he hosts his own show and he moderates his own show. So I produce it for him, but I'm backstage and he runs the show himself. We also have Get Off Your Couch Workout. What? This is on Sundays, and it's basically a way for people to spend about 25, 27 minutes getting some kind of exercise. We've done squats. We're going to be doing sit-ups. We've done arm exercises. We've used things in the home that, cans of soup or bottles of water. So it's not something where you have to be a professional athlete. It's really for anyone and everyone to try different things in their home for that amount of time, 25 to 27 minutes. We have Dr. Jacalyn's book club where I spotlight various books for children and their parents. And this is a fun one. People send me books and then I review them, and that's where it takes place. So there are shows, and then you can meet our team. And then if you're interested in being on any of our shows, then you can just come here to book your session. We have other opportunities as well. All people, all guests are invited to book in up to 10 times in a calendar year. And we really cut it off at 10 because we want as many people as possible to be able to come to the platform and share their story. The first 5 interviews are without charge. And then interviews 6 through 10, there is a fee, and you can purchase 1 interview or a package of 5. And the reason we do this is, again, sometimes people are excited about coming to our platform and they're really using it for free publicity. So we just encourage them to come as often as 10 times, but the last 5, there is a fee that is quite reasonable. We also invite people to be a guest co-host. If you'd like to try it out, then you can book in for $75 for 1 show. And that's a show that you'll do with me. And that's 1 show and 1 show only to see how you like it. We also have Singograms with Madeline Chan, whom I referenced before, where you can actually give a personalized or custom message to someone on our platform. So for example, maybe you want us to sing happy birthday to someone or congratulations to someone. We can do that for you. We can also do custom full-length songs with audio and video, and that's done through Songs for You with Madeline Chan. We offer people the ability to have an edited copy of your interview. So for example, if you were to go to any of the social media platforms or to our website, you're going to see your interview is in its entirety. So you've got the opening graphic, you've got the introduction, any sponsorships that we've been running, you've got the closing video, and then the closing graphic. So we take all of that out and we do a nice custom work for you so that you can use that video as you'd like to on your website or for your own promotion. We also do search engine optimization. If you'd like to get more eyes, more views, these are authentic views. We have a search engine optimization channel manager here who manages USA Global TV and radio. And so we have at any given time 29 shows a week. So it's not possible to have search engine optimization done on all the videos by me because it's just not cost effective. So we encourage you. In fact, somebody right before the show just signed up for search engine optimization. I know AMINAH, you have, I do it every week. So we give that information there. And then here's where you would come to book your session. So I would say pretty much the shows are free except for certain ones. So for example, there is a fee to promote yourself on the reunion show. You can chat with me for 15 minutes for free. If you want to get with us on the screen for get off your couch workout, that's $20, just like if you were to go to a fitness course. We have a special event coming up, the film and music event, which is where creatives can promote their work. They can perform live, and that's $49. Everything else here that I see is without charge. And then there's a second page. You can go down here to see all, but I'm not going to do that for right now. We also have the calendar, which will show you exactly which shows are happening when. So that's a nice, easy way for you to get a visual of what show is when, and you can do it in a pin board, you can do it in an agenda format, or you can look at it monthly. And then we also have courses that we offer. I spoke to you about the power of listening. This is an opportunity for everyone and anyone to join our team at USA Global TV. You can join us as an elevated listener by booking in this course and getting your certification. We will take your headshot and your certificate and put it over on drjacalyn.com. Your headshot will also go on usaglobaltv.com. In addition, we have a brand new website coming. I'm meeting with the website master tomorrow, and the name of the website is theelevatedlisteners.com. And this will be a showcase of our elevated listeners. So the whole website is dedicated to them and also to learning how to listen, listening tips, videos about listening, etc. So look for that coming soon. And then we've got these other courses that I mentioned, the power of music, the transition, male and female energies, nature, plants and shrines, intuition of the heart. These are all courses that Madeline Chan has developed and created, and they're all very economically priced. These are courses that if you're someone who feels that you don't fit into the capitalistic material world and you really feel that your heart and soul resonates on a different level, like AMINAH, for example, or me, these are courses for $47 pretty much that you really can learn something about the 5D world, about transitioning from an egocentric world to a heart-centric world. What do you do in between when you're in that transition? And what do you do once you get there? This course here, The Power of Listening, Nature, Plants, and Shrines, is you actually getting seeds, getting a young plant, potting it, building a shrine. The shrine is not a religious shrine. It's your own personal shrine with shells and maybe with flowers and whatever it is, plants, that you build a shrine for you to connect with nature. So that's a little bit about that. You can also join Amazon Prime Music. And then I just want to talk about a couple of things and then we will end for today. Our showcase of experts are called Talking Heads. These are people by invitation only who have expertise, knowledge, and skill, and they are professional presenters, and they want to share their knowledge and expertise, and they're willing to pay to do it. So each of them gets a 30-minute slot. I just have my show today. I am doing 6 sessions on how to succeed in business, how you start up your business. Today, we talked about social media, sales, marketing your business. My 6 topics before that were all about listening. So we have a playlist of the lessons, and then you can see who our talking head experts are. We've got Alcini, Kathy Fulton, Mariska Duprier, Justin Rigliani, Diane Floyd-Bain, Roland Friedel, Red O'Laughlin, and then we've got our second group, because there's not enough room on the first page, Philip Sykes, Janetta Barry, Christine Amy Hartner, Caroline Heward, and soon to join us is Madeline Chan. And you may say to yourself, wow, a lot of these names seem familiar. That's because once somebody gets involved with our platform, they want to do more and more and more. And we are so happy and open to that. You can subscribe. You can contact us. We also have our shop. Several people in the survey that we sent out are interested in purchasing the edited copy of the video. This is a second location here. You saw it on the other location. We can produce shows for you. I'm producing a show for someone next week. So it's your show, it's your branding, it's your marketing, but I'm producing it for you. And you can run it on your own platform, which we'll do here on StreamYard, or you can run it on my platform as well. I already mentioned about getting additional interviews. And then, of course, we have our logo merchandise. So if you would like to be a brand ambassador for USA Global TV, there's that information. Here again, just if somebody wants to be a co-host, they want to join us for elevated listening, singograms, etc. So I will stop there, and I thank you for your attention. Thank you very much, AMINAH. I appreciate it. And thank you to each and every one of you. I'm going to wish you a fabulous weekend. And I am so excited that you were here for this lesson. Thank you, AMINAH. I'll see you Sunday, and have a wonderful weekend to everyone else. We will be back Sunday through Friday. Bye for now.